so with this MegNeg, so we got the MegNeg Super Deluxe. Is it a better shock than the DPX2? I don't know yet. It's a tricky bike to tune, I'll be honest. I reckon it's the hardest bike I've had to tune. This and maybe the Pivot Firebird, but that was only hard to tune because I didn't get a lot of time on it. And there was just a noise. There was a noise that sounded like it was coming from the frame. So as soon as I heard that, I pulled the pin. I can't be hearing. Noise means damage to me. If a bike's making noise, it's doing damage. Might only be a little bit, but it's damage all the same. So cut the test off, and turns out it was the brake. So the Shimano brake was making like it was shifting. Something was going on between the piston and the pad or something like that. I think it was maybe the relationship between the piston and the pad. But it was making a crack noise. So if I was under brakes through anything rough, it would go whack, whack, whack. Like bang. And being a carbon framer, you just feel everything and it just echoes. It's really unnerving. So I only spent a little bit of time on that trying to set it up, and it was a hard bike to set up. That I didn't get to spend enough time. It wasn't straight out of the box. A bike like the Slash, out the box, not a lot of tinkering, and that thing is fast. If you can monster it around the corners, it's a monster. But I struggled a bit. I'd like a 27.5 in the back. I don't think I corner that well, to be honest. I don't think my cornering, currently anyway, I've been in a position where I used to corner really well, had my bike set up really well. I'm hoping this Luftkappe actually gives me a setup that I'm looking for with the fork. It's just, it could do with being stiffer, but I don't want it to be any choppier. If I go stiffer, I can't dial in enough compression to control it because it becomes choppy. So you got to keep the rebound fast and add compression. But I need more support from the spring without it being more choppy. And I think that's what the Luftkappe does. That seems to be what it did with the Lyric. It gave me plenty more support, as if I'd pumped the forks up, which I had. You're running 10% more pressure. But it felt as if the spring was more supportive at that 10% more pressure, or whatever I ended up running. Way more supportive all the way through, without being choppy. So it's like a soft, firm cushion, which is, hard to believe, I guess. A soft, firm cushion. It's killer. So I'm looking forward to this Luftkappe. That'll be going in next week. We'll make it happen for sure. But yeah, so this MegNeg, try and find the best out of it with it in its full size, so as big as it can. And then I'm going to start changing the relationship between the positive can and the negative can a little bit. So I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to put all 4 spaces in it, and that brings it to 64% bigger. So 1.6 times what the original Debonair is, and see what it does from there. See how many spaces I need to add to find that sweet spot, and see if that makes the spring feel any better, or more controlled, or more supportive. So maybe a certain size negative in relation to the positive, you don't want your negative too big in relationship to how big your positive is, like as a percentage of your positive, because it might become detrimental at too big. I'm not too sure. So maybe this is a good test, this MegNeg. So as I go through, I'll pretty much bracket. So I've gone all the way open with the rubber bands to all the way full. So I'm changing the size of that negative chamber. So we'll see. It's going to be a little bit of tinkering and a lot of time, so bear with me, because it is going to be a long process. It was a great day today. Good to get out on the bike, and Lucas was absolutely slaying. Made a couple of mistakes, but he's fast. He's pinned, so that'll be cool to watch. He's going to slay it at the race on the weekend, and yeah, so far so good with this shot. Is it better than DPX2? Feels killer. It's not controlled yet. I don't have full control of it yet. I don't have full control of the bike. I don't feel like it's cornering right, maybe. I don't know, I'm close. It's definitely not cornering as predictably as I'd like it, but we'll get there for sure. I think it just needs to be a tad deeper in the sag. So I'm thinking if I can get it stiffer, but not a full token stiffer. A full token stiffer is too stiff. I think around half a token, which I could probably get the equal to that ratio by adding negatives to make that negative smaller in relationship to the positive, and then I can make the positive smaller, and that ratio may be a little better. May not be, so we'll play. Who knows? I'll kick on, and yeah, so far so good. The small bump sensitivity is definitely better, but the DPX2 charges. There's no doubt. Once I finally have that thing set up right, it can charge fast for sure. It's got a nice, yeah. It's just, I don't think it's as good for grip. It feels a bit more not grippy. I guess I'm running the Aggressor Exo dual compound, and that is a tough tyre. Honestly, that thing is. I've got so many cuts on the wall, and I keep saying it like fucking hell, but it might die one day. It's still got heaps of tread on it. Have a look at it. The treads are up. Tread's cool, and there's just so many cuts on it, and it's hanging in there. I haven't had to plug it at all. I've ridden rocky tracks a lot, so I'm going to get a double down Aggressor next, and I want a DHR2 Exo Plus, and see what these Exo Pluses are all about. I've got a 2.4 DHR2 Exo Plus 3C coming. If you reckon that's a good tyre, let me know. We'll see. We will see. I think I'm going to tear it. DHR2. I reckon I'll tear it. A Aggressor double down in a dual compound. If Maxis did more double downs in dual compound DHF 2.5, dual compound DHR2 2.4, dual compound high roller 2 2.4, they would be awesome tyres, awesome back tyres. And then you've got the option of running the 3C as well, but I think a dual compound is, I don't know, I'm not sure, but the Aggressor dual compound is quite good. So anyway, I'm tired as hell. I'm going to bed. Later.